Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chairman, woman, and I thank the witnesses for doing so much to educate the American public about the potential for a vaccine in the coming months. 6 months ago today, the CDC reported the first case of COVID-19 in the United States. In the months that have followed, American life has been upended as we face an unprecedented health crisis in this country. Lack of PPE is still plaguing our healthcare system, and with no clearly defined coordinated strategy in the administration on testing and contact tracing, the virus is continuing to spread throughout the country. Congress has allocated money for testing and contact tracing, yet without a coordinated national strategy, significant lapses continue. Obviously, while not directly related, it is important for Congress to ensure that similar distribution and accessibility problems do not occur when a vaccine is deemed safe and effective to provide some level of immunity. COVID-19. I am encouraged by some of the early trials from these vaccines, and I'm hopeful that the later phase trials will prove that a vaccine is safe and effective for mass production and distribution. However, the accessibility of this vaccine to Americans from all walks of life is critical. And that is where I want to focus my question. Cases have surged across Arizona, across America, and some of the earliest hotspots occurred on tribal lands in my district, including Navajo Nation and the White Mountain Apache. It took far too long for the government to respond to our tribal nations and ensure that they had the proper PPE and other equipment. My question is to the entire panel, and we'll go right to left. I know that you all are currently in early stages of testing vaccines. As you are planning for later stage trials with more people, what is your company doing to ensure that there is broad representation across racial and ethnic groups among participants? Are there any difficulties that Congress needs to be aware of as this next COVID-19 package is being negotiated? And when I say across racial and ethnic lines, I'd like to understand a little bit from each of you what the complexities of that mean. Thank you.
So I will start, and thank you for the question. So we absolutely support making sure that our vaccine during the clinical trials is tested in as diverse community as possible to ensure that we have data that gives us confidence that it will be effective in a community that represents all of the populations around the world. This is why we're running studies in the United Kingdom, in South Africa, in South America, and in the United States to begin with, and we're also considering going to other regions as well, such as Japan, China, and elsewhere. But ultimately, we need to. Yes. So, but ultimately, we need to make sure that within the United States also we have diversity in terms of the communities and the populations that we're testing. And in our 30,000 patient study, working with NIAID and the NIH, we'll make sure that we do have a diverse population that represents both ethnic diversity as well as age diversity.
Thank you. Next, please. Anybody?
This is Makaya Dewogi. I can go next. So we're still in the planning stages of our phase 3 study, but we do plan to include a diverse population, not only from an age perspective, but many of the communities that you have mentioned. To do that, we are launching a community outreach program that will involve a digital platform, but also leveraging some of our existing networks and connections in the context of some of our other programs. For example, we've had a very long history of doing HIV vaccine trial work with the NIH and their networks, and they have a very strong community engagement group that is very active in the communities that you've mentioned. We want to work and partner and leverage the experience we already have, because those populations are also disproportionately affected by COVID, to make sure that they have information about the disease and the vaccine trials that we're planning, an ample opportunity to determine whether or not they want to participate. So it's the past experience that we will use to hopefully help improve the diversity in our trials.
Madam Chairwoman, I think I'm going to run too long, so I yield. Thank you.